paradoxical fate of a writer, impossible to revive because he's never been sufficiently neglected, is somehow quite suitably Bergerian. That said, it's impossible for others not to rage on Berger's behalf for a larger share of attention and rewards. Take the words of the Pakistani Texan novelist Zulfikar Gozeh. Novels whose subject matter is their greatest appeal are invariably vastly popular. Novels which stand on their style alone win readers slowly, in little bands here and there, until the work becomes one of the layers which compose human consciousness. This explains why, among American novelists, Saul Bellow, who knows what to write about, is preferred to Thomas Berger, who knows how to write. Berger is a novelist and nothing else. 20 or 30 years from now, Bellow will be one of those obscure funny names one sees who were mistakenly awarded the Nobel Prize like Pearl Buck, and Berger will be read seriously like Henry James. In material terms, Berger's been unflinching in his dedication. 22 novels since his 1958 debut, Crazy in Berlin. His shelf of work, while unified both by his unmistakable gentle irony and his uncanny ear for musical collisions of high and low diction, effloresces in wild diversity. A quasi-Updikean quartet of novels following the life stages of a lumpen angelic alter ego named Reinhardt, a pair of shambolic historical legendary epics, Little Big Man and Arthur Rex, the former his best-known novel, now followed by a sequel, and a handful of loving demolitions of genre, the private eye novel in Who is Teddy Villanova, utopian and dystopian fiction in Nowhere and Regiment of Women, and fables of wish fulfillment in Being Invisible and Changing the Past. The virtuosic novelty of those enterprises may sometimes distract readers and commentators from the core concerns of the majority of Berger's novels. The remainder of his books are harder to pigeonhole or typify, though all of them develop motifs of power, victimization, and guilt in human affairs, and all exhibit the curious capacity of his fictional situations to shift like a weather vane between farcical misunderstanding and ominous sadomasochistic abuse. Many, including Meeting Evil, impinge on the material of the crime novel or policier, though they never reproduce the tone typical of those genres. Meanwhile, the audience that savors crime in fiction has overlooked Berger, much as the tropical explorers in the famous Mad magazine cover illustration are unaware, as they scrutinize the trees, that they are huddled in the concavity of an enormous footprint. These less categorizable novels, with their nominally realist settings and full of human blundering ranging from adultery and murder to badly cooked meals, comprise the strongest argument for Berger's lasting importance, especially cumulatively. The sequence I have in mind begins with the monumental Killing Time, Berger's fourth novel, which I've described elsewhere as Jim Thompson rewritten by an American Flaubert. That book, an inquiry into a beatific, existentially profound sociopath who regards himself as the enemy of time, contains as well the first of a series of portraits of faintly malicious, hugely pragmatic cops. Berger's fascination with policemen, the guilt they inspire in introspective souls, the morbidity they indulge as a byproduct of their mission, the mental ambiguity filters they necessarily adopt, is matched only by Alfred Hitchcock's. Next come Sneaky People, Neighbors, and The Feud. Sneaky People and The Feud are a pair of large ensemble Midwestern urban novels, full of fond reproductions of American vernacular speech in its vanished splendor, full of unsentimental cross-sections of turf mostly abdicated by American novelists after Booth Tarkington. Neighbors, Berger's favorite among his own books, partly for what he describes as the effortlessness of its composition, inaugurates a masterful triumvirate of novels of menace. Its companions are The House Guest and the book to which you are now listening. Each of these three books is theatrical, tightly unified in time, and in the case of the two novels before Meeting Evil, in place as well. Each make a study of what I'd call ambivalent usurpation, uncanny